In today's video, I'm going to be answering your best LEGO questions, including some like starting a YouTube channel in 2026. What's up, everybody? I'm your host here, Cristo from Stud City, and today's episode of Stud City Unhinged, where I answer your questions that you left on last week's video. So as we progress through today's video, if there is any questions you have for relating LEGO, the channel, personal life, whatever it may be, make sure to drop them in the comments below and I'll be sure to answer them in a future video. With that being said, let's jump straight on into it. So the first question here is coming from Sergio. It says, what is a great way to start a YouTube channel for LEGO content? Plan on starting in about a year or so with mock vlogging to get used to being behind in front of a camera, which I think is really good and can definitely help benefit anyone because that's something I also did, but we'll discuss that in just a second. Any recommendations to starting a channel and also to build a fan base that is unique to me? Absolutely well said here, Sergio. And I think the last part is so critical and important, right? I think a fan base unique to you is so critical. The Stud City channel, I've grown organic. I started my YouTube channel when I was in college, back when I was around 20 years old. At the time of recording, I'm 27, so like I've literally been doing this for 7 or 8 years now. But anyways, I've never paid for followers. I've never got them, in untraditional ways. I've literally only ever just posted content and have gained content and following organically through whatever I have done over the last 7 years. And, I'm very thankful for it. I'm very grateful for it. And I'm just loving that, like, we have built an awesome community that's like stemmed from literally nothing and just from reselling and buying Lego as a pure hobbyist and enthusiast to nowadays doing like huge Lego deals and sales to help inspire others in the community. It's been truly amazing. But I think a great way to start a YouTube channel is really dialing in some of the fundamentals. And some of those, in my opinion, are niching down. Like, Lego is such a broad terminology that it is not good enough to start a YouTube channel, right? Like, are you talking about Lego mocks? Like, are you talking about buying, brand new Lego sets and building those sets? Like, there's so many dynamic Lego news, like all of these things. Like, there's so many dynamics. Like, Lego is so broad. My recommendation is to focus on one niche. And I know you mentioned mock vlogging. Sorry, I can't say that, but mock vlogging would essentially, in my head, would be like, hey, I turned this Lego set, right? Like, this Lego set was swipe the card. No, the original one was like our family or something like that. I don't remember. And I've changed it to swipe the card. But say you take any new Lego set and you make your own mocks from it and you vlog the entire process. Like, I think that would be an insane and amazing YouTube channel. Like, any Lego set that comes out, obviously every Lego set would be pretty astronomical because there's over 1,000 Lego sets that drop in a given year, and 1,000 videos would be pretty crazy a year. But say you pick one set or two sets or three sets or five sets every month with all the new swiping the card on the first of the month sets, and you decide to mock something out of those sets, or even one a month, whatever it may be, and vlog that experience. I think that's niching down. And I think that's getting a niche on something that is so particular that I think it sets you up for success at YouTube. There's many other dynamics to building a YouTube channel and growing. Now, I feel like the game has changed since 7, 8 years ago when I first started compared to where it is now. And of course, make yourself out there. People don't know you exist. Market yourself. Trust me, it has to be done. It's something that just needs to be done, right? Like, engage with others. It helps. And people like what you do, and start joining groups and talking about other, mock vlogs and other mocks and other groups. And, people will get your name out there, kind of thing. Also, maybe conventions or other networking platforms like that might be a great way to do so. But at the end of the day, Sergio, I really am a true believer of doing something that you enjoy will lead to success in the longer road, right? I enjoy making Lego content. I do it for free, and it's all something I've done in the beginning, and now, I start to get paid for it, right? And even if it wasn't, I still enjoy doing it. And I did back then, and I do now. So for me, nothing has changed in that realm. And that's why I have so much fun doing so. Moving on to the next question here, we have from Cluned, and he says, I know you traveled overseas with some popular YouTubers, but who else do you watch regularly for Lego insights, tips, tricks, and or regular Lego news? Now, if you don't know who I went with on this trip, I went with my first ever trip with Duck Bricks. I went with MIDI Superheroes Today. I went with Ethan the Artisan. I went with Mind the Brick. And I also went with Duck Bricks' Rube, Zach, or City. And we had a fantastic time. But keep in mind, this is actually like the only, I can't even tell you like how many times I've ever met everybody. I think for the first time ever, I met, Duck Bricks at Brickworld Chicago, I think was 2024. And in 2025, we hung out and then we took a trip together. I mean, that was pretty awesome. I'm very fortunate that I got to do something like that. Mini Superheroes Today, amazing guy. One of the best, nicest people I've ever met. He's so awesome. But I had met him at convention for like 4 or 5 years in a row. Not 4 or 5 years, probably 3 years in a row. And we ended up taking a really awesome vacation together. Same thing with Ethan. So, like, basically, more of the story is these are individuals that I don't like hang out with and talk to every day, but it stemmed into like a really good relationship. And I'm very fortunate for that. And I had a great time with them traveling the world. And it was really, really something special. And I hope to do more trips with them in the future. But aside from that, any other channels that I look to for Lego deals and insights? And truthfully, I wish I could give you a list, but I watch so many people and try to support as many people as I can, that it's hard to like dial in on that. I mean, again, right? Brick lover Brad, definitely someone I love. The lover, Nicole, she's awesome. Girl bricks a lot. That's an awesome. Danny Bob Studios, fantastic. Love her. Tyler from Life Bricks, M&R Productions, Ryan, one of the nicest people I literally ever met. And he's awesome. Definitely had a good relationship with him in 2025. And we went to a few Lego conventions together. And again, so many great relationships there. I definitely watch some of his videos. I don't think I watch anybody's every video. Like, I don't think that exists. Again, time constraints, but I wish I could. Back when I first started Lego, I always had a dream of building the massivest Lego city possible. And my uncle, I feel like, filled that need. So that's definitely an inspiration. But I did watch a lot of Brixie when I first started my YouTube kind of content career, right? And Brixie was definitely an amazing content creator. I don't watch as much videos as I probably wish I did, but I definitely watch his videos on like Instagram that are a little bit shorter rather than on YouTube. And I think he makes fantastic content and something that's super enjoyable. Another one for like Lego new stuff and someone that I like keep in communications with is Brick Clicker. I think he is always on top of the game and he's very informative and has quite access to some crazy things. There's some live streamers over on YouTube like Adshot or Minifigs Mondays or Sundays, whatever it is, with Will Bricks Productions, Adshot. Like, there's some really good streamers on YouTube. I try to pop in those live streams, and like the list continues, right? Like, I don't think I have a select list of like, oh, I watch these 5 YouTubers or TikTokers or Instagrammers religiously. Like, I definitely spread it out quite a bit. So, anyways, hopefully that was informative. And there's so many amazing content creators out there, and like so much positivity that, like, trust me, you shouldn't have a hard time finding them because they're out there. But our last question here is coming from Lego Loca. Good to see you, Nally. And she says, how soon could you be opening a Stud City store and where would it be located? Now, I absolutely love this question. And the thought pondered in a members only video where we were discussing the possibilities of a little bit a while ago, this video came out, but the possibilities of opening an in-person Stud City store. And the thought's been sinking in my brain on if we should do it and if we want to expand that route. And again, I don't know what the future entails, but I feel like a store would be something I'm definitely interested in one way or another. I have a passion for Lego, and right, we always find good Lego deals and sales, and I think it's just something that fits us naturally. However, I don't know if that's the course I want to go in life. So anyways, with that being said, what that would look like in the future, I would assume would be in the area that I'm living. I don't think it would make sense for me to open up a store in California, for example, if I live in Indiana. So wherever I am, I would say locally. Now, am I a permanent resident of Indiana? Maybe. I guess I don't really have an answer for that. But in the long term, do I intend to stay in Indiana for the rest of my life? The short answer would be probably not. So I don't know where I will end up, but I do love the area that I am in. I have some amazing friends and family that are very local to the area, and I have a lot of help had if I ever needed to utilize that, and it's definitely kind of in the back of my mind. However, we are a young couple, me and Georgiana, as far as family, and we do want to make our family bigger sometime in the near future. And with that being said, I feel like the wife always wants to steer closer towards her family, and her family's not located where we are. So with that being said, it might open up possibilities for us to move in the future. Again, I don't know what the future entails, but if that were the case, I'm assuming I would probably kind of expand the route and do a store wherever we were to move, which would suck because we just built this awesome house in the most epic Lego room, but part 2, which would be pretty cool. So anyways, I'm curious to see what you guys have to think about today's video. I think there's some really interesting questions. And if I didn't answer your question from last week's video or any of the past ones, make sure to drop a comment below so I can answer them in a future video. Anyways, aside from that, thanks so much for watching today's video. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm Cristo from Stud City, and we'll see you in the next video.